Hello, fans, and welcome to This Day in Baseball, where we're going to bring you a full radio broadcast of today's game. And before we do that, I just want to thank Classic Baseball Radio, and there's a link in the notes where you can check out their full channel. They have many great radio broadcasts. And while you're listening to today's game, if you want to check out much more about the game and the players, look on the links below, and you're going to see links to player pages, the date the game happened, the year it happened, and the play-by-play. Enjoy the game, and check out the links while you're watching the game, and please don't forget to hit the subscribe button so that every time new content comes out, you're going to get that firsthand. And thank you again for checking out This Day in Baseball, and enjoy the game.
From Milwaukee, the New York Mets are on the air. Meet the Mets, meet the Mets. That's right, up and reach the Mets. Bring your kitty, bring your wife. Guaranteed to have the time of your life. Because the Mets are really rocking the ball. Not the over the wall. Inside where everybody, this is Ralph Geiner. Welcome to another game brought to you by Rheingold Extra Dry and Viceroy Cigarettes. Today on Easter Sunday, the Mets meet the Milwaukee Braves here at County Stadium. And Lindsey Nelson, Bob Murphy, and I are in hand to bring you all the action. Well, right now, down in the field, Casey Stengel going over the ground rules with Bobby Bragan, the manager of the Milwaukee Braves, and the four umpires for today's game. So while they check everything over, how about you checking over Viceroy? Right now would be a good time to light up a Viceroy. Viceroy's not too strong, not too light. Viceroy's got the taste that's right. Say, how about checking your own supply of cold Rheingold? Rheingold Extra Dry. Yes, sir, put some Rheingold on ice. It'll add a lot to your enjoyment of the game. Here is a beer with a clean, clear taste. Rich and bright all the way through. Rheingold is beer as beer should taste. Dry tells you why. Well, the starting pitchers for today's game, Roger Craig warming up on the third base side. Roger looking for the first Met victory. And pitching for the Milwaukee Braves, just completing his warm-up tosses, Bob Henley, who has a record of no wins and 1 loss. The Milwaukee Braves have a record so far this season of 2 wins and 2 losses. And now, while we wait for the ball game to get underway, here's a word from Viceroy Cigarettes. The last of the ninth, score 3-0. The bases were loaded, then wouldn't you know? 2 men stand. They missed by a mile. Then Casey stepped up to the plate with a smile.
Now, Casey smokes filters, but knows it's true that even some filters are rough on you. While other brands in the filter crowd are just like smoking a warmed-over cloud. But Viceroy tastes the way you'd like a filter cigarette to taste. Not too strong.
Not too light. Viceroy's got the taste that's right.
That's right.
Well, Casey won the game with his longest homer yet. The manager's daughter said,
Have a cigarette?
today they're a family with a girl and a boy, and it all began with a Viceroy.
That's right.
So Casey wants you to know, and he'll take all bets. If you smoke all 7 filter cigarettes, you'll find some too strong.
Some too light.
But Viceroy's got the taste that's right.
That's right.
That's right.
That's right.
With the playing of our national anthem here at County Stadium in Milwaukee, the ball game just about underway, and here are the starting lineups. For the Milwaukee Braves, Ty Klein will lead off and play in center field. Batting second, playing second base, Frank Foley. The third batter will be the right fielder, Hank Aaron. Batting fourth and playing third base, Eddie Matthews. In left field, batting fifth, Mac Jones. The sixth batter will be the first baseman, Len Gabrielson. Batting seventh and catching, Joe Torre. The eighth batter will be the shortstop, Roy McMillan. And on the mound for the Braves, left-hander Bob Henley. For the New York Mets, manager Casey Stengel has juggled his lineup around. He will play at third base, Ted Shriver making his major league debut. Batting second and playing shortstop, Charlie Neal. The third batter will be the right fielder, Duke Snyder. Batting fourth in center field, Jim Hickman. Batting fifth and playing in left field, Cliff Cook. The sixth batter will be the second baseman, Larry Burright. Batting seventh and catching, Norm Sherry. And in the eighth batting position at first base, Tim Hartner. On the mound for the Mets, batting ninth, it will be Roger Craig. It's a beautiful day for baseball. A temperature around 51 degrees. The wind blowing from the east 14 miles an hour. Sun shining brightly as the Mets start out here against the Milwaukee Braves on Easter Sunday. On the mound it is Bob Henley, a left-hander, looking at the sign from catcher Joe Torre. And here's the first pitch. A swing and a miss to the curveball for strike one. Ted Shriver making his major league debut here today. Left-hander into the windup and back to the plate. There's a pitch high inside for ball one. 1 ball and 1 strike. Shriver was born in Brooklyn, New York in 1938. He's 5'11", weighs 175 pounds. Originally signed by the Boston Red Sox. Pitch back, a slider that's on there for strike two. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Last year, Shriver hit 277 in 147 games with 5 home runs and 50 runs batted in while playing for Seattle in the Pacific Coast League. Now the left-hander to the right-handed batter. And the pitch is outside for ball two. 2 balls and 2 strikes. The umpires in today's game, behind home plate, Frank Sikori. At first base, Bill Jakowski. At second base, Vinny Smith. And the third base umpire, Paul Pryor. 2 balls and 2 strikes. And the pitch back to Ted Shriver. A bouncy ball hit down the third. Eddie Matthews takes it on the second hop. Goes across low. A real big stretch by Gabrielson. Out number 1. So Ted Shriver in his first time at bat in the major leagues goes down 5-3. And that brings up Charlie Neal. Charlie playing shortstop in today's game. For the Braves, it's Gabrielson at first base. At second base, Frank Foley. At shortstop, Roy McMillan. And at third base, Eddie Matthews. Joe Torre sending the sign out to Bob Henley. There's a swing and a miss at a fastball. Strike one. In the outfield, Matt Jones in left. Ty Klein in center field. And Hank Aaron in right. Now Bob Henley into the windup and back to Charlie Neal. Curveball is low. 1 ball and 1 strike. Henley is 24 years of age. 1962 for the Braves. He won 11 and lost 13. He has a lifetime major league record of 16 wins and 21 losses. 2 of the 16 wins against the Mets last year. There's a pitch on the inside corner. Looked at, strike 2. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Charlie Neal. Henley, a long look at the signs. Here's the windup. And the pitch back is high. 2 balls and 2 strikes. The on-deck batter, Duke Snyder. Charlie has 1 hit and 12 times up this year. And now the 2-2 pitch. Hard ground ball hits to deep short. A ball off the glove of McMillan in the left field, a base hit. McMillan went over to backhand the ball. The ball did hit on his glove, rolled about 40 feet away, and Charlie Neal has a base hit. The first base hit of the ball game. And with a runner at first base and 1 out here in the top of the first, Duke Snyder comes to bat. has 2 hits in 14 times up for the Mets. Both the hits home runs. He has scored 2 of their 3 runs this year. Both home runs coming right here in this park. And the first pitch to Snyder is popped up into shallow center field. Ty Klein moves over to his left. He is under, and now he puts it away. So Duke goes down on 1 pitch. That makes out number 2, and Jim Hickman comes up. Jim has 1 for 3 in his brief appearance this year. The one hit a tremendous home run to left field yesterday against the teeth of a real strong wind. That's 3 base hits in this 1963 season. That could say 3 runs, all coming as a result of home runs. Now the first pitch to the right-hand batter. A let-up that's over for strike 1. Jim Hickman playing in center field, batting with 2 men out here in the top of the first inning. Charlie Neal at first base, being held on by Len Gabrielson. Now the left-hander back to Jim. A slow curve in the dirt, dug out by Torre. 1 ball and 1 strike. Charles Robert Henley on the mound for the Milwaukee Braves. Now the left-hander back to Hickman, low and inside, and the count now moves along to 2 balls and 1 strike. Henley last year in 200 innings allowed only 188 hits. He struck out 112 men while walking only 59. He had a fine 3.60 earned run average. This is one fellow the Milwaukee Braves are really counting on. Now the 2-1 pitch. To let up a check in the swing. The ball dribbled out to first base. Gabrielson goes over, makes the play. At first base, unassisted to retire the side. Jim Hickman actually tried to keep the bat off the ball there, but couldn't do it. And in the inning for the Mets, no runs on 1 hit, no errors, 1 man left. And the score at the end of 1/2 inning of play, the Mets nothing, the Milwaukee Braves coming to bat. So here's a riddle for filter cigarette smokers. What slides right open, slides jet tight, that's 1,000 for convenience, and scores with a taste that's right 20 times. Well, it's Viceroy's exclusive new slide-top case. The greatest improvement in cigarette packaging since the flip-open box. Crush-proof like a box, it slides right open, slides shut tight. Works so easy and with just 1 hand. Inside, Viceroy. A filter cigarette that tastes the way you'd like a filter cigarette to taste. Not too strong, not too light. Viceroy's got the taste that's right. Fans, if you smoke all 7 leading filter brands, you'll find some taste too strong, just like the unfiltered kind. And others taste too light. They take all the fun and flavor out of smoking. But Viceroy's not too strong, not too light. Viceroy's got the taste that's right. So next time you buy cigarettes, make it Viceroy in the exclusive slice shot case or familiar soft pack. The bottom half of the first inning, the Mets out in the first with no score, and the Braves coming up for their first drive. Leading off for the Braves will be Ty Klein. He'll be followed by Frank Foley and then Hank Aaron. On the mound for the Mets, Roger Craig, 32 years of age. In 1962, he won 10 and lost 24. He has a lifetime Major League record of 59 wins and 63 losses. Against Milwaukee, he has won 5 and lost 11 lifetime. Last year, he was 1 and 3 against them. So Roger making his second appearance for the Mets. And his first pitch is outside to the left-hand batter, ball 1. Roger lost in his first appearance this season, pitching against the St. Louis Cardinals. The Cardinals have won 3 straight, all by shutout. They haven't lost a game for 6 months. Here's the 1-0 pitch back, a hard smash foul. Strike 1. You recall the Cardinals finished last year by defeating the Brooklyn Dodgers or the Los Angeles Dodgers with 2 shutouts and knocking them out of a chance to win the National League pennant. And now with 3 going at the start of this year, they have had 5 shutouts in a row, extending over a period of about 6 months. yesterday, it was Kurt Simmons who pitched the shutout. 1 ball and 1 strike as Roger Craig works to Ty Klein. And the pitch is on the outside corner in the high strike zone for strike 2. For the Mets, it's Tim Harkness at first base, Larry Burright at second, Charlie Neal at short, and Ted Shriver at third. In the outfield, Cliff Cook in left, Jim Hickman in center, and Duke Snyder in right field. And giving the signs, Norm Shera. Here's the 1-2 pitch to the left-hand batter. A swing and a miss, he struck him out. So Roger Craig on the curveball gets his first man. The score 0-0 here in the bottom half of the first. And coming on the bat is Frank Foley. Foley had quite a day yesterday. He picked up 3 base hits, and all of them the kind you'd love to get. One was a top swinging bunt. The other was a check swing. The other, the shortest double we've seen this year. A bouncing ball that bounced away from the shortstop and rolled about 25 feet behind the shortstop's position. And the first pitch to the right-hand batter is inside for ball 1, a fastball. Bowling had 4 hits and 16 times up this year, all 4 hits against the Mets. Now Roger into the windup and back to the plate. And the next pitch is popped up in the air to shallow center field. Jim Hickman coming in. And he makes the catch for out number 2. So Roger now with 2 outs. And the batter coming on, Hank Aaron. Hank Aaron, number 44, batting from the right-hand side. Last year he had 45 home runs. So far this year he has 1. Hank has 4 hits and 15 times up. And now Roger with his first pitch. It's a fastball that's in there. Strike 1 call. Frank Torre, the home plate umpire. It was Frank who called 3 balks against the Mets opening day. 2 of them against Roger Craig. In the National League now, there have been 20 balks called. In the American League, not 1. Quite a difference in the type of umpiring. Now the 1 strike pitch. It's popped up in foul territory. Ted Shriver coming over right by the railing now, and he makes the catch to retire the side. So Roger Craig works through the first inning, 1-2-3, and the score at the end of 1 inning to play, the New York Mets nothing, the Milwaukee Braves nothing. Fans, you know, this is Sunday afternoon and a beautiful Sunday right here. Easter Sunday, if you're out driving around like I'm sure many of you are, and you happen to be near the Polo Grounds area, might be a wise thing to stop in there and pick up your ticket for the 1963 season. The Mets have 3 convenient ticket locations, and on Sunday only, the advanced reservation window at the Polo Grounds is open for your convenience. Saturday and the other days of the week, Monday through Saturday, are chances for you to pick up your tickets downtown at Grand Central Station, down at the bottom of the Vanderbilt Avenue ramp there, or in Pennsylvania Station in the Long Island waiting room. You may make your ticket reservations at any of the Howard Clothes stores throughout the metropolitan area, and if you so desire, you may mail in for your ticket. Box seats at $3.50, reserve seats $2.50, and be sure to enclose an additional 25 cents to handle the mailing charges. And the place to write for your ticket is Ticket Manager, Polo Grounds, New York 39, New York. Yes, sir, right now the big series tickets are on sale for the Dodgers and Giants coming in near the end of the year. And the Polo Grounds ticket office is open for your convenience today. We certainly hope you had a very nice Easter. And coming right in now to bring you some of the play-by-play and talk about his new Easter bonnet is Lindsey Nelson.
All right, Ralph Carter. It's coming up now is Cliff Cook wearing a big number 1 on his back. Right-hand batter. He's playing left field today in place of Frank Thomas. Bob Henley into the windup, and here's the pitch. High for ball 1. Frank Sikori, the umpire behind the plate. Cliff Cook getting the call in left field because Frank Thomas was bothered before today's ball game by his shoulder as well as the knee that was cut yesterday. He's swinging a ground ball to second base. Up with it is Foley, and he plays over to Gabrielson in time, and Cook is grounded out. So there is 1 away. And coming up now is the Mets second baseman, Larry Furright. Wright is hitting .214 thus far this season. Drop down to the number 6 slot in Casey Single's batting orders today. Henley has the sign into the windup, and here's the pitch. Swung on and fouled off. Out of play. It is strike one. Bob Henley, a young left-hander that Milwaukee Braves have been bringing along the last couple of years, and for whom they have extremely high hopes. Torre is in and waiting. And the pitch. Swung on as a ground ball to third, taken by Eddie Matthews on a big hop. He guns it on to first to Gabrielson in time, and he's out. 2 away, nobody on, and that brings up Norm Sherry. Gabrielson, of course, is playing a new position. Played first base yesterday, and they had him at first base a little bit in the spring, but that time, after he took the throw, he got off the bag with both feet, sort of a broad jump move as he landed a couple of feet off the bag on flat-footed. Here is Norm Sherry coming up for the Mets. The catcher is batting number 7 in the batting order. He's a right-hand batter. 2 men out, nobody on base. Pitch is spin in there for a call, strike one. Bright sunny day here in Milwaukee, Wisconsin on Easter Sunday afternoon. Sherry's waiting, and here's the pitch. Swung on and lined on the left field line, foul. It's out of play. 2-strike count now to Sherry. Norm's been up 3 times previously this season, has 1 hit, so his batting average is .333. Coaching at first base for the Mets, and Cookie Lavagetta on at third. That is the usual alignment. Henley starts the motion for the 2-strike pitch. Swung on, and the strike 3 struck him out. So in the top half of the second, the Mets got no runs on no hits, no errors, and none left. At the end of an inning and a half, the score is the New York Mets nothing and the Milwaukee Braves nothing. And now a word from Viceroy Cigarettes.
The brothers Four with another story about old John Henry. When John Henry rested in the evening, he'd set him in an easy chair. Then he'd holler to his mammy, bring the Viceroys round with the taste that's right there. Yes, yes, the taste that's right there. Now John Henry knew his builder smoking, like he knew his railroad ties. He said some taste too strong and some too light, but Viceroy's just my size. Oh yeah, Viceroy's just my size. Now you know that Viceroy tastes the way you'd like a filtered cigarette to taste. Yes, they're not too strong and they're not too light. Viceroy's got the taste that's right. That's right, Viceroy.
The Milwaukee Braves will be coming up here in the bottom half of the second inning, and they'll send up Eddie Matthews, Mac Jones, and Lynn Gabrielson. Matthews has been up 12 times, has 4 hits, hitting .333. And he's facing Roger Craig in his second start of the season for the New York Mets. As manager Casey Stengel decides to shake up his batting order and line up a little bit today, see if he can get that started with a little run production. Here's a pitch hit high and away for ball. 1-0. Let's have an inner defensive. Tim Harkness at first, Larry Burright at second, Charlie Neal at shortstop, and Ted Shriver at third. The pitch to Matthews. For a ball. He held up. It's 2-0. Started the swing and held it up. Mac Jones is kneeling on deck now for the Milwaukee Braves. Matthews with 399 career home runs. The next one, number 400. He does not have one yet this season. Pitch is swung on after ground ball to second base. Torre takes it, plays on over to Harkness in time, and he's out. So there's 1 away. Mac Jones is coming up. Mac Jones, playing left field, has excellent speed. Done it 14 times and has 2 hits. Batting batting average of 143. Throughout the spring, the Milwaukee Braves were working with Mac Jones in an attempt to cut down his strikeouts. Last year, he showed a great tendency to strike out. Swing on a ground ball. That is backhanded by Burright, knocked down, plays over to first, not in time. Jones beats it out. As Burright moves forward to his right, he knocks it down. It's a base hit. Then made the play over, but Mac Jones, with that fine speed we were talking about, beat it out for the first hit for the Milwaukee Braves off Roger Craig. So with a runner at first and one man out, Len Gabrielson is coming up now. He is the young fellow who yesterday got his first major league hit, and it was a 3-run homer that put the Braves out in front far enough for them to win yesterday. So manager Bobby Bragan, of course, had him right back in there at first base again this afternoon. Craig checks now. Jones leads, and the pitch to Gabrielson is low and inside for ball one. Jones, the base runner, with Harkness holding against the runner there. We're in the bottom half of the second inning. No score as yet. Here's a pitch high and away for ball two. 2-0 to Len Gabrielson. Norm Larker still bothered with a shoulder that he injured on opening day here, which was Thursday afternoon when he made a hit first slide into second base. Throws over, not in time, as Mike Jones gets back safely. It has been expected that Tommy Aaron might get the job at first base this year for the Milwaukee Braves, but apparently manager Bobby Bragan does not feel that way at all. Here's a throw over, not in time. Bobby Bragan was on a local television show last night and mentioned the fact that when Larker went out, he could have put Tommy Aaron at first base, but didn't feel like it, so he put Len Gabrielson there at a new position. Here's a pitch to Gabrielson, swung on, topped up, off the bag at third. Shriver comes over, he has a play, he's underneath waiting, and Shriver takes it for the out. No advance by Mac Jones, as Gabrielson fouls out to third, and coming up now is Joe Torre. Brooklyn-born Joe Torre asked us before the ball game to say hello to his mother, who is doubtless listening in this afternoon. They tell her that he could hardly wait to get home next weekend because, of course, the Milwaukee Braves will be coming to New York, take on the Mets at the Polo Grounds Friday afternoon, Saturday afternoon, and a doubleheader next Sunday afternoon in New York. 2 men out here and a runner at first. Here's the pitch. It's outside for a ball. Right now, why don't you light up a Viceroy? Find out what we mean when we say Viceroy's got the taste that's right. Torre's been up 9 times, has 4 hits. He's batting .444. Throw over, not in time, and he is keeping Del Crandall out of that lineup right now. He just might be keeping him available. There's a hit-and-run play, swung on, fouled off. So that'll bring Mac Jones back. They had him moving on the pitch, and Torre chopped it off foul. But Jones comes back with a count to Torre, 1 ball and 1 strike. Joe Torre in and waiting. Younger brother of Frank Torre, formerly played first base for these Milwaukee Braves. Now with the Phillies, here's a pitch, swung on, and there's strike 2. 1-2. It's the Mets nothing and the Braves nothing in the bottom half of the second inning. Craig throws over. It's not in time. Roger picked off 14 runners last year. Here's a swing and a foul ball. Back onto the screen and out of play. 1-2. But Craig, you're being very careful today to come to that 1-second stop at the belt with the runners on because he had 2 balks called on him on opening day at the Polo Grounds against the Cardinals, and the man who called him is Frank Torre, who is umpiring behind the plate here this afternoon. Now the pitch swung on as the ground ball fouled on the third base line out of play. Count holds at 1-2 now to Joe Torre with Roy McMillan on deck for the Braves. This is the third game of the current series. Braves took the first two, 6-1 and 5-2. The three Met runs that have been scored in this series were all scored on home runs, 2 by Duke Snider and 1 by Jim Hickman. Here's the pitch to Torre. He's running and the throw through to second, taken by Floride, and Mac Jones is out at second base to retire the side. As Norm Sherry fires down to Burright, and they got the speedy Mac Jones, and in the bottom of the second, the Braves got no runs, 1 hit, no errors, none left, and at the end of 2, the score is the New York Mets nothing, the Milwaukee Braves nothing. Well, you know, the Mets have a lot of new faces, and matter of fact, they have new faces in the lineup here this afternoon. And in addition to that, they also have a brand new official song this year. It's called Meet the Mets. Many of you fans have probably already heard it. This catchy 45 RPM record has 2 versions of the song, one with a vocal and the other is strictly instrumental. And the record is now available. There are only a limited number of first edition records available, so you'll want to get on the bandwagon right away. And as a baseball fan, you'll want this highly prized souvenir item in your collection. To obtain your copy of the Meet the Mets record, send $1 to Met Official Song, Polo Grounds, New York 39, New York. $1 to Met Official Song, Polo Grounds, New York 39, New York. In this ball game, the New York Mets and the Milwaukee Braves. And we'll be going to the top half of the third inning, and Tim Harkness will be coming up for the New York Mets. Harkness has been up 8 times, has 1 hit thus far this season. He's batting number 8 in the batting order for the New York Mets this afternoon. With an infield of Lynn Gabrielson at first base, Mike Bowling at second, Roy McMillan at short, Eddie Matthews at third, Mac Jones in left, Ty Klein in center, Hank Aaron in right. Henley now into the windup. Pitch is swung on. There's a high fly ball going foul down the right field line, chased over by Aaron, but this one is going in the stand and out of play. So it's a long strike to Tim Harkness here in the top half of the third inning. Roger Craig is on deck for the New York Mets, out there with the jacket on. Henley starts the pitching motion. Swung on and chop foul. 2-strike count now. Casey Stengel starting Harkness at first base this afternoon against left-hander Bob Henley. He said he wanted to find out whether or not Harkness could hit left-handers. He figured the best way to find out was stick him in there. Pitch is on away for a ball. It's 1-2. And now the 1-2 pitch. And missed strike 3. Struck him out. Got him on a breaking ball. So there's 1 away, nobody on, and pitcher Roger Craig is coming up to the Mets. He's a right-hand batter. Coming up for his first time in this game. Craig has been up twice this season without a hit thus far. The concluding game of this series will be played here tomorrow afternoon. Pitch to Craig, swung on, a little never to the right side, fielded by Henley, and he underhands it on over to Gabrielson in time for the out. 2 away, nobody on, as Craig is grounded out, pitcher to first, and that brings up Ted Shriver. Ted playing in his first major league game here today. Been up 1 time, and he grounded out third to first. Number 1 draft choice for the New York Mets in the winter draft. Seattle last year. Originally signed with the Boston Red Sox to a bonus contract. Diggs on wide stance at the plate. Right-hand batter chokes up a little bit. Bob Henley with the pitch. In in there for a call, strike one. Again the pitch. And it's high for a ball. It's 1-1. It's the Mets nothing and the Braves nothing. At County Stadium in Milwaukee. We'll be on the air tomorrow afternoon at 2:25 p.m. New York time. Radio only. Here's a swing and a foul ball up to the right side. Right now, in order to allow our stations to identify themselves, we pause now for station identification.
Radio 810 WGY, your General Electric station in Schenectady. The temperature at the Albany Airport, 56 degrees.
This is Lindsey Nelson with Ralph Kiner and Bob Murphy in Milwaukee. Shriver has a count of 1 ball and 2 strikes. Pitch is swung on right back to Henley, and he fires over to first to Gerber from in time. So Shriver has grounded out. Pitcher to first on a comebacker. And in the top of the third, the Mets got no runs on no hits, no errors, and none left. The end of 2.5 innings of play. The score is New York Mets nothing and the Milwaukee Braves nothing. Coming up now, a tune I know you're going to like.
My beer is Rheingold, the dry beer. Think of Rheingold whenever you buy beer. It's not bitter, not sweet, it's a dry flavored treat. Won't you try extra dry Rheingold beer?
Join in and treat yourself to the clean, sparkling taste of New York's favorite beer, Rheingold Extra Dry. Rheingold has a flavor all its own because it's brewed of only the choicest ingredients. Brewed the long, slow, costlier way for flavor that's brisk and bright and clean clear through. It's beer as beer should taste.
My beer is Rheingold, the dry beer. Think of Rheingold whenever you buy beer. It's not bitter, not sweet, it's a dry flavored treat. Won't you try extra dry Rheingold
In the bottom half of the third inning, the Milwaukee Braves will still have Joe Torre up there. You'll recall that Joe was at the plate when Mac Jones was thrown out stealing in the bottom of the second. So it'll be Joe Torre, Roy McMillan, and Bob Henley to face Roger Craig, trying to chalk up his first victory of the season and the first victory for the New York Mets for this season. Dixie Walker coaching at first base, and JoJo White around at third for the Milwaukee Braves. He held up on the swing and takes it for a ball, and Norm Sherry is protesting to umpire Frank Secori behind the plate. It goes as ball one as Torre started the swing and held up. We were talking to Coach Dixie Walker of the Braves before the ball game. Of course, for many years he was the People's Church in Brooklyn and has a lot of friends in the New York area. Pitches in there for a call strike. Says that he hasn't been back to Brooklyn in recent years.
You know, he got quite a rude awakening when he was traded from Brooklyn to Pittsburgh, and all of a sudden all those friends of his in Brooklyn were with him in Pittsburgh, and he didn't know what was going on.
There's a pitch outside for a ball. It's 2-1.
This is a new experience to have somebody go boo to him, and he was shook.
Well, I imagine he would be, because he could have been the mayor of Brooklyn any time. Here's a 2-1 pitch to Joe Torre. It's low for a ball. 3-1. Dixie said he's looking forward to coming back to the Polo Grounds next weekend with these Milwaukee Braves. Looking some of his people will be there. Here's a 3-1 pitch. Swung on and missed. It's a full count now. 3-2 to Torre.
We ought to get a carload of people from Pittsburgh to come up, too, so it'll be even.
Yes, I guess that could happen. Pitch is low, ball 4 in Milwaukee. So Joe Torre gets to first base. He becomes the second Braves base runner. And shortstop Roy McMillan's coming up. Well, Ralph, what kind of reception did you usually get at Ebbets Field when you were with the Pirates?
You know, the amazing thing, Lindsey, the fans at Ebbets Field were the best I ever played in front of.
Really?
Of course, I was scared to death the first time I went there because I'd heard so much about them, but believe me, they treated me wonderfully.
Great.
Maybe it's because I struck out so much there.
All right, here's McMillan in and waiting. Torre leads off the bag at first. Harkness holds against him. The pitch is low and away for ball one.
You know, one of the real great experiences was when Nancy, my wife, came to Evansville for the first time, and she sat in the middle of all the fans there. And the first one she met was none other than Hilda, who was naturally in the stands.
Yes. Yes. It's a called strike. Pops out of the glove of Sherry. He pounces on it. There's no advance.
Of course, playing tennis, you know, they don't say anything in those tennis matches. And she's been raised to almost complete silence in sports. And when you get out to Ebbets Field, it wasn't quite like that.
How did you start with Hilda? It was.
It's throw over.
Ty Klein is in the on-deck circle as Milwaukee Braves continue to keep that pitcher in the dugout until it's his time to bat. There is a National League rule this year that says the pitcher has come out to the on-deck circle, but the Braves haven't had one out there this season as far as we know. Here's a pitch high for a ball. It's 2-1. Off the bag at first. Here's a throw over, and he's out at first base. Roger Craig with his first pickoff of the season has picked Joe Torre, caught him leaning, and picked him off at first base. So there is one away and nobody on base. The count to McMillan is 2 balls and 1 strike. Checks with Frank Torre to be sure that is the count. So Roger's been concentrating a little bit on Torre and just rid himself of that problem. Here's 2-1 pitch falling. It's a ground ball to third. It's a foul ball. Fielded deep by Sarburn. Thrown on to first, but a foul ball. There's umpire Paul Pryor. Fielded cleanly, and the long throw made perfectly over to Harkness by Shriver, but it's a 2-2 count out of McMillan as he comes back to the plate. It's the Braves nothing and the Mets nothing. Bottom half of the third inning. Craig looks in to get a sign now from Norm Cherry. Into the windup and the pitch. Swung on and missed strike 3. Struck him out. So that is the second strikeout of the day for Roger Craig. Bob Henley is coming up now. He's the pitcher coming out of the dugout.
That Milwaukee dugout has special heating pads down in there, and it's a little bit warmer than it would be anywhere else, and I guess that's why the pitchers don't want to come out of there.
That would seem like a reasonable reason at this time of year. Pitchers in there for a called strike. You know, Ralph, as you well know, those heating units are located underneath those steps, and many times late innings when that sun has gone down a little bit, you find everybody up on the steps. And pitch is low for a ball, and you get an idea if you're just looking from up here that that's the most enthusiastic ball club in the world with everybody up on the steps, but that's where the heat is.
Well, I think they put it there on purpose. It just looked good.
There's a pitch high for a ball. 2-1 now to Henley. Nobody on base for the Braves. Roger Craig with a wind-up and pitch. Swung on and missed. 2-2 now to Henley. Although he's a left-hander, he bats right. Once again, the pitch swung on. Little Never back to the mound. Taken by Craig. He plays over to Harkness in time, and the side is retired. So through 3 innings, Craig has faced 9 batters, and in the bottom of the third, the Braves got no runs on no hits, no errors, and none left. And at the end of 3, the score is the New York Mets nothing and the Milwaukee Braves nothing.
We will be.
Well, there'll be a lot of big events coming up at the Polo Grounds this season, and one of the biggest of the early season events will be Willie Mays Night at the Polo Grounds on the night of May 3rd. There's a committee in charge of arrangements headed by Toots Shore, and why not? Because Toots is one of the biggest of the Giant fans through the years, and he is the chairman of the committee making arrangements.
How do you mean biggest? You mean in size or as a rooter?
I'll tell you, that word covers everything. So, Willie Mays Night, May 3rd at the Polo Grounds, will be observed. The San Francisco Giants on hand, of course, the defending National League champions, and they got off to a great start. Willie Mays hitting a homer for him yesterday to mark that victory over the Chicago Cubs, and so keep that in mind. May 3rd, the San Francisco Giants against the New York Mets at the Polo Grounds in New York. Right here, there is no score in this game as yet. And we're going to the top half of the 4th inning. Bob Henley still warming up, and to check us out on scores of other games and then bring us up to date on the proceedings is Ralph Kiner.
Through 5 1/2 innings at Cincinnati, Pittsburgh leads the Reds by a score of 1-0. Joey Jay going for Cincinnati and pitching for the Pittsburgh Pirates, Al McBean. The Cubs have a 1-0 lead after 2 1/2 against the Giants. Marichal pitching for the Giants, and going for the Cubs, Larry Jackson. No score on the Philadelphia St. Louis game through 4 1/2. It's Short and Brodio pitching there. In the American League, the New York Yankees have a commanding lead over Baltimore, 5-0 after 3. Narum now pitching for the Orioles. Williams going for the Yankees. Cleveland leads Detroit 2-0 through 5. And Washington leads Boston 2-1 through 3. That's the story in the scores around baseball. And right here, it's 0-0 as we move to the top of the 4th and base into the game for the Mets. He singled off the glove of Roy McMillan in the 1st inning. Now Bob Henley, a left-hander, back to the plate with a 1-0 pitch. There's a ground ball right back to the mound. Henley knocks it down, picks it up, throws him out. And there's a base hit taken away from Johnny Neal. That ball was a smash, but Henley got in front of it, knocked the ball right down below him. He had time to pick it up and throw out Johnny Neal for out number 1. And with 1 out, the batter will be Duke Snyder. Duke flat out to center field his first time up. Wearing number 11 for the first time in his life. His regular number with the Dodgers, number 4. And the first pitch to the left-hand batter is outside for ball 1. Bob Henley on the mound for the Milwaukee Braves. He's a big, tall fella. Has been throwing a lot of breaking pitches, a lot of sliders, and a lot of curveballs. Comes back with a curve, and there's a fly ball to shallow center field. Ty Klein moves in about 6 steps, waits and puts it away. Throw on a breaking pitch. Bob Henley gets out number 2, and Jim Hickman comes in. Jim tried to check a swing his first time up, but bounced the ball down to first for 1 at-bat in this ball game. Jim has 1 hit, a home run, and that was a tremendous drive to left field. Halfway up in the bleachers against a real strong wind. Jim batting from the right-hand side, and the left-hander to the plate with his first pitch. A big curveball for strike 1, a swing and a miss. Jim batting 1 for 4 in the year, 250 if you keep the averages. They don't mean a whole lot right now. 1 hit, of course, would change that to 400. There's a pitch outside, a curveball again. 1 ball and 1 strike. During the course of a full season, a base hit figures to be about 2 points on your batting average. Now the 1-1 pitch to Jim, a breaking pitch in the dirt. 2 balls and 1 strike. Jim Hickman with 2 men out, no score in the top of the 4th inning. Now Henley back to the right-hand batter. And the 2-1 pitch. Line to left field, a base hit. So Jim Hickman gets his second base hit of the year. That raises his average to 400 from 250, and you can see the difference in percentage points right there. And with 2 out, the batter will be Cliff Cook. hit of the game off Bob Henley. No score. Now Cliff Cook, who bounced to second, steps in. And there's the throw to first base. Jim Hickman back ahead of the throw in time. Cliff has one hit and 6 times up this year. And the pitch to the plate is high. A slider for ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes. Frank Thomas, as Lindsey Nelson tells you, injured yesterday when he made a great shoestring catch on Hank Aaron in left field. Now the left-hander back to the plate. And there's a bouncing ball down towards third, but foul. Ball going on through down the left field line. Just missing being fair. Eddie Matthews, the third baseman, came over to backhand it. Couldn't get his glove on the ball. So the can now 1 ball and 1 strike. Mets only had 3 hits yesterday against Lou Burdette, but they hit the ball hard on many occasions. Rod Cannell lined one right back to the mound and was robbed of a base hit. Cranepool was robbed of a base hit in left field when Mac Jones made a good play. Now throw to first base. Hickman back ahead of the tag by Lynn Gabrielson. No score game. 2 men out. Top of the 4th inning. Here's Henley now back on top and back to the plate. And the curveball's hit off the end of the bat. A high jump by the first baseman. He hauls it down. So Lynn Gabrielson, who's 6'5", used all of that and as much as he could get in a big jump to take a base hit away from Cliff Cook. And that retires the side. In the inning, no runs on 1 hit, no errors, 1 man left. And the score at the end, a 3 1/2 innings of play. The New York Mets nothing, the Milwaukee Braves nothing. Say if you like music, I think you'll love this.
For the first strike taste of Rheingold is what good food deserves. It goes with chips, potato chips, and even with hors d'oeuvres. Oh, it's sure to please when served with seasoned flavor, crisp and bright. A sparkling glass of Rheingold beer enlivens up each bite. Alone it's fine, or when you dine and drink good food, it's great. A glorious glass of Rheingold, it's beer and beer should taste.
Rheingold Extra Dry is brewed of the choicest ingredients, the long, slow, costlier way, for flavor that's brisk and bright and clean clear through. It's beer as beer should taste. Dry tells you why.
My beer is Rheingold, the dry beer. Think of Rheingold whenever you buy beer. It's not bitter, not sweet, it's the dry flavor treat. Won't you try extra dry Rheingold beer?
Roger Craig on the mound for the New York Mets against the Milwaukee Braves. And Roger now will start all over again. He has retired the first 9 men in a row. He has given up 1 base hit. That was to Mac Jones, an infield hit off the glove of Larry Burright. Then he proceeded to work it out to have Jones thrown out at second base. Roger also has walked 1 man, and he picked him off first. So it's been a perfect 3 innings for Roger Craig. And there's the first pitch to Ty Klein. It's fouled away for strike 1. Roger getting his first pickoff of the 1963 season when he picked Joe Torre off first base. Last year, Roger Craig had 13. He led the National League in that department. So it's a 1-strike count to Ty Klein as he leads off for the Milwaukee Braves. No score. Klein batting from the left-hand side. Waits as Roger gets the sign. Now calls time. Norm Sherry, the catcher for the Mets. At third base, Ted Shriver playing his first Major League game. At shortstop, Johnny Neal. At second base, Larry Burright. At first base, Tim Harkness. Now the 1-strike pitch as Craig comes back to work, and it's on the outside corner. That moves the count up to strike 2. In the outfield for the Mets, Cliff Cook in left field. In center field, Jim Hickman. In right field, Duke Snyder. Now Craig with the 2-strike pitch. He misses with a fastball outside. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Temperature 51 degrees at game time. Wind blowing in from the east, about 14 miles an hour. Now Craig back, and it's a 1-2 swing and a miss, and he got him swinging. Roger Craig with a curveball down around the knees picks up his 3rd strikeout in the ball game, and that is out number 1 here in the 4th inning. No score. The batter will be Frank Foley. That's the second time that Ty Klein has struck out against Roger Craig, both times on curveballs. Frank Foley in the batter's box. He flied to center field his first time up. He has 4 hits and 17 times up. And the first pitch to Bowling, the curveball over for strike 1. Roger Craig today in his second start is much sharper with his control. In his opening start against St. Louis, he was very wild, missing with a large majority of his pitches. There's that curve again. Strike 2, a swing and a miss. Roger is not fast. His control is biggest asset. Now the windup and the 2-strike pitch to Bowling. And it's inside. Moves him away. Spins him away. Ball 1. Bowling batting from the right-hand side. Bowling has 4 hits. All against the Mets this year. Pitch back, a curve just missing outside. Good pitch by Roger Craig. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Well, if the first 4 hits that Bowling has picked up this year are indicative of his remaining year, he's going to hit about 500. Bowling has 4 big blue hits against the Mets. Boy, that's a good sign. Now the 2-2 pitch. And a little one off the handle. It's going to go into right field. Another blooper. A base hit for Frank Foley. Frank Foley off the handle. Moving one just out of the reach of the second baseman, Larry Burright. So Foley now with 5 hits. Boy, what a year he's got. That is the second hit given up by Roger Craig. The hits are all even now. 2 apiece. No score. The batter is Hank Aaron. Hank's fouled out his first time up. Number 44, and the pitch to him is low, a curveball for ball 1. You know, my beer is Rheingold, the dry beer. How about you? Now would be a good time to open up or order up a Rheingold Extra Dry. Yes, sir. Real good time. Beautiful day right here in Milwaukee for the Easter Parade. Roger Craig asking for a new ball. Gets it from umpire Frank Torre. 1 ball count to Hank Aaron. Aaron 4 hits and 16 times up. And the pitch back, a curve inside, ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes. For 16, a 250 average. Aaron is tied for the club RBI leadership with Gabrielson with 3. There's a quick throw to first, but Frank Bowling only about a step away. It's going to be harder for Roger Craig to pick men off because no one gets too far off right now. There's a pitch high for ball 3, a fastball just above the strike zone. 3 balls and no strikes to Hank Aaron. The on-deck batter, Eddie Matthews. Well, the Milwaukee Braves missing the big bat of Joe Adcock now. They only have 2 big ones in the lineup. Hank Aaron and Eddie Matthews. There's a curve. It's over at the knees for strike 1. So Roger Craig in the 3-0 pitch comes back with a curve. And he picks up the first strike, running the count to 3 balls and 1 strike. 1 out, a runner at first base. No score in the ball game. Bowling with a short lead is chased back by Roger Craig as he goes over to Tim Hartnett. Again, the short leg. This time, quick throw. Again, Bowling back ahead of the tag. Bowling only has about a 4-step lead. Now it's about 3. There it goes to 4. Time called. Now time is in as Craig gets the sign and comes to the plate. And he misses on the 3-1 pitch for ball 4. That is his second walk, and it puts runners at first and second. It brings up Eddie Matthews. Matthews bounced to second base his first time up. He has 4 hits and 13 times up this year. Eddie batting from the left-hand side. Roger Craig now in the stretch position. His first pitch to Matthews outside for ball one. And now the third baseman, Ted Shriver, moving back. He was playing about even with the bag. Matthews has been known to bunt down toward third every once in a while. He's very good at that. But with runners on at first and second, he'll probably hit away. Now the pitch back. It's low, a curveball. Ball two. So Roger Craig in trouble now. Runners at first and second with one out and a 2-0 count on Eddie Matthews. Roger worked the first 3 innings, 1, 2, 3. But now, for the first time in the game, the Milwaukee Braves have a runner as far as second base. Rogers shaking off the first sign from Norm Sherry. Gets another. Outfield just a shade toward right field. Infield a double play depth. Now Roger on top and back to the plate. And he misses for ball 3. Slider outside. Rogers only a pitch away from holding up the bases. The on-deck batter is Mac Jones. He has one of the 2 hits given up by Roger Craig. 3 balls and no strikes. As Roger works here in the bottom half of the 4th inning. Again shaking off the first sign, takes the second, now set, looks at second, goes to first base, a play on there, but in ahead of the throw was Hank Aaron. Jim Harkness coming in from behind the runner at first base, about 6 or 7 steps. Now again it's Craig on top and back to the plate, and there's the slider over the knees for strike 1. That's Craig's first strike as he works to Eddie Matthews. It's 3-1. Toward right field. And the pitch back to Matthews, and it's full foul. So the count fills out at 3 balls and 2 strikes. A left-hander throwing in the bullpen for the Mets is Don Rowe. Was used with Roger Craig when Craig worked his first ball game. Runners at first and second. 1 man out. The count 3-2 to Eddie Matthews. Craig shaking no on the first sign. Now gives the sign to start all over to Norm Sherry. So Norm does. Now it's set. Here's the 3-2 pitch. The runners go, and the pitch is hit off the end of the bat down towards third. Picked up by Shriver. The throw to first base in time. So Ted Shriver picks up the second out with no chance to make a play on the moving runners. And the Braves now have runners at second and third, and the batter coming up is Mac Jones. Eddie Matthews fooled on the pitch, hit the ball right off the end of the bat. It spun down towards third. Shriver moved in, fielded the ball about even with the line running between second and third, and made the quick throw to first for the second out. And now it's Mac Jones, left hand hitting left fielder. Frank Foley is on at third base, Hank Aaron at second. In the full windup and to the plate. There's a curveball hit down towards first. A good play by Harkness. He throws the Craig covering in time. Tim Harkness going in the hole to his right. Pulled a base hit away. Made the good throw to Roger Craig covering on the very fast runner to retire the side. So Roger gets out of a jam. As the Milwaukee Braves score no runs, pick up one hit. They had one walk and left two men on. And the score at the end of 4 innings of play, the New York Mets nothing, the Milwaukee Braves nothing. Now to bring you up to date on the scores, here is Lindsey Nelson.
All right, Ralph Kiner, and in the National League, at the end of 6.5 innings of play, the Pittsburgh Pirates won, the Cincinnati Reds nothing. Al McBean going against Joey Jay. At the end of 4 innings of play in Chicago, it's the Cubs 2 and the defending national champion Giants nothing. Juan Marichal going for the Giants and Larry Jackson for the Chicago Cubs. Ron Santo homered in the fourth with nobody on for Chicago. And in St. Louis, at the end of 5.5, the Philadelphia Phillies have scored a run against the St. Louis Cardinals. They have finally given up a run, the first time they've given up one this season. It is the Phils 1, St. Louis Cardinals nothing at the end of 5.5. Chris Short against Ernie Broglio. That's the first game of a scheduled doubleheader, and the Dodgers are playing in Houston. Sandy Koufax against Don Notabart, and that one is not yet underway. In the American League, the end of 4 innings, the New York Yankees 5, the Baltimore Orioles nothing. Estrada started for Baltimore, Buster Narum in the third. Dan Williams going for the Yanks. At the end of 6, Cleveland Indians 3, the Detroit Tigers nothing. Bunting for Detroit. Grant started for Cleveland and was injured. Walker in the 5th. Vic DiVello hit a homer in the 5th with one man on for the Cleveland Indians. The end of 3 innings of play, the Washington Senators 2, the Boston Red Sox 1. Gary Stevenson started for Boston. Hal Kolstad in the 3rd inning. Vinny Daniels started for Washington. Carl Bolden in the 4th inning. Carl Tillman over in the 3rd with nobody on. At the end of 1 inning, the Minnesota Twins 2, the Kansas City A's nothing. Pasquale against McGee. Allison over in the 1st with one on. The White Sox and the Angels rained out. Coming up now is Larry Burright. Henley's pitch is in there for a called strike. 0-1 the count to Burright. Coming up here in the top half of the 5th inning. He's been up one time and he grounded out 3rd to 1st. Again, Henley, the left-hander, with the motion. It's bunted back toward the mound. Taken by Henley, and he plays on over to 1st in time. There's one away, and right now, in order to allow our stations to identify themselves, we pause now for station identification.
WGY in Schenectady. The present temperature 57 degrees. The humidity 8%.
This is Lindsey Nelson with Bob Murphy and Ralph Kiner here at Milwaukee County Stadium. Norm Sherry is up now for the Mets. He's a right-hand batter. Henley starts the motion, and the pitch is inside for ball 1. Thus far, the New York Mets have 2 hits off Bob Henley. Charlie Neal singled in the 1st, and Jim Hickman singled to left in the 4th. Sherry waits. And misses. 1-1 to count. Milwaukee Braves have the defense swung around toward left on the right-hand batter here. It's the Mets nothing and the Braves nothing. Here's a 1-1 pitch. Swung on and has a high fly ball to left field. Mac Jones moves over. Ty Klein is there also, and Klein calls and takes it right in front of Mike Jones, way over in left center field. So there are 2 men out. Nobody on base, and first baseman Tim Harkness is coming up. Harkness has been up one time, and he struck out swinging. Made a fine defensive play to get the Mets out of the last inning as he went to his right to glove a ball hit by Mike Jones and then play it over to Roger Craig covering in time to retire the side. And here he is at the plate, Tim Harkness. Curveball is swung on. It's a ground ball to second. Picked up by Foley and played on over to Gabrielson in time. So in the top of the 5th, the Mets are out in order. No runs, no hits, no errors, none left. It's the end of 4.5. The score is New York Mets nothing and the Milwaukee Braves nothing. Well, what is the one thing that most people associate with baseball? Well, I'll bet that if you ask, the answer you'd hear most often is an ice-cold glass of beer. And if those people happen to be New Yorkers, well, then that beer has just got to be Rheingold, New York's favorite. And what accounts for this popularity? 2 words tell you, extra dry. You see, a dry beer is crisp to the taste, or naturally refreshing. And Rheingold is the extra dry beer. Extra dry to be extra refreshing. And after all, isn't that what you want in a beer? Well, sure it is, so why wait? Order up or order yourself a glass of refreshing Rheingold and enjoy it along with the game. You'll join the millions of people everywhere who say, my beer is Rheingold, the dry beer. It's beer as beer should taste. In the bottom of the fifth, the Milwaukee Braves will send up Len Gabrielson, Joe Torre, and Roy McMillan. Tomorrow afternoon, it will be Al Jackson pitching for the New York Mets as they close out the series here. Immediately after tomorrow's game, the Mets will be flying on to Cincinnati, and they'll take on the Cincinnati Reds on Tuesday night and Wednesday night. We'll be bringing you both of those on radio and television from Cincinnati. Thursday is an off day for the Mets, and then they open up at the Polo Grounds in New York Friday afternoon against the Milwaukee Braves. Saturday afternoon will be Ladies' Day, and Sunday afternoon, a week from today, a doubleheader between the Mets and the Braves at the Polo Grounds. Gabrielson, left-hand batter's in. He's been up one time, popped out, fouled out to third base. Has a pitch in there for a called strike to Gabrielson. He was the hero of yesterday's 5-2 Brave victory over the Mets when he hit a 3-run homer, his first time up, his first major league hit. Craig's pitch is low for ball. It's 1-1. Again, Craig starts the motion. 1-1 pitch, swung on and missed. It's a big swing, 1-2. So far, the Braves have only 2 hits off Roger Craig. Mac Jones scratched one. Ground ball was knocked down by Plurite, but Jones beat it out in the second inning. And Frank Bowling blooped one into right field in the fourth inning. Pitch is high and away for a ball. It's 2-2. So far, Craig has struck out 3 and he's walked 2. Here's a 2-2 pitch. And it is low for ball. Out full at 3-2. Gabrielson leaning way over to start the swing, but held up. So it is a full count now to the rookie first baseman. Here's a payoff pitch. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. Struck him out. That is strikeout number 4 for Roger Craig this afternoon. And with one away and nobody on base, Joe Torre is coming up. He has been up one time and he walked, and then he was picked off by Roger Craig. Lots of Easter corsages on the ladies around the ballpark this afternoon. Breaking ball inside, ball 1. Nothing and the Braves nothing. Pitch is low and away for a ball. 2-0 now to Joe Torre. Torre's batting average, .444. 9 times at bat, 4 base hits. Swinging a ground ball. That is going on through the hole in the left field for a base hit. Cliff Cook up with it, relays it back in. Turning and holding it first is Torre. With a ground single to the left. Dead try with the third baseman went for it. Charlie Neal, the shortstop, went for it. It was through the hole and on into left. So with one man out, Roy McMillan comes up now. He's been up one time, and McMillan struck out swinging. That hit was the third for the Braves off Roger Craig. McMillan is hitting .286. Pitch is fired outside for ball 1. Jojo White running through the signs down at third. He is Bobby Reagan's third base coach. There's a pitch low and away for a ball. It's 2-0. Here for the 1957 and 58 World Series. I remember that there used to be a patch of woods straight away in center field. Perini's Woods, they called it. But the trees died, and so they built a bleacher area out there that is unoccupied except for football games. Pitch is in there for a called strike. It's 2-1. a sign from Norm Sherry. Here's a pitch fired right in there for a called strike two. It's 2-2 to McMillan. McMillan has long been recognized as one of the outstanding glove men in baseball. Had some great years with the Cincinnati Reds. Torre leads at first, and here's the pitch to McMillan. Belts it down the left field line if it stays fair, but it is a foul ball. Out of play, so it's 2-2. It's a line shot that hits the wall down just outside the flag. Hit well out in front and full by Roy McMillan. The end of the bat, and the count holds at 2-2. As we started play today in the Major League, there are only two undefeated teams, both in the National League, the San Francisco Giants and the St. Louis Cardinals. Dodgers defeated the Houston Colt 45 3-1 last night, in case you missed that one. Here is a swing and a miss, strike three. Struck him out. McMillan is the second out. That is strikeout number 5 for Roger Craig in this game. And brings up pitcher Bob Henley, who comes out of the dugout right now. Comes on up past Ty Klein, who's in the on-deck circle. Henley takes his time coming out. Batter's been up one time, and he grounded out. Pitch it to first. That pitch is in there for a called strike. And that's nothing, and the Braves nothing. With the Braves batting in the bottom of the fifth. Here's a swing and a miss, strike two. Charlie Neal out there at shortstop this afternoon for the New York Mets. As Al Moran was taken out of the lineup for the first time since the start of the season. So Charlie was moved over from his third base position where he had been. That pitch is low and away for a ball. It's 1-2. 2 men out and the runner at first. Torre takes his lead, and here's the pitch. Swung on, and it's a ground ball backhanded by Neal. It's short. He plays the ball right for the fourth, and he's out. Beautiful backhand stab by Charlie Neal at shortstop to get the fourth on Joe Torre, as that one went 6-4 if you're scoring. And in the bottom half of the fifth, the Braves got no runs on one hit, no errors, and one left. At the end of 5 full innings of play, the score is the New York Mets nothing, the Milwaukee Braves nothing. In the top half of the 6th inning, Roger Craig will be up to lead off for the New York Mets. Roger has been up one time, and he grounded out. Pitch it at first. Young Bob Henley is still in there on the mound for the Milwaukee Braves. Craig steps into the batter's box. The fans moving over to the area behind third base. That's a favorite pastime in this stadium, to chase the sun. When it starts to move, you find that the fans start to move. Here's a windup and the pitch. It's in there for a call strike. Henley again getting a sign. And the pitch is low for a ball. 1-1. Shriver is on deck. Henley getting a sign from Joe Torre. The 1-1 pitch. Fired inside. 2-1. the 2-1 pitch. Swung on and missed. It's 2-2. Henley has struck out one and walked none here this afternoon. He got Norm Sherry swinging in the top half of the second inning. Now the 2-2 pitch. Swung on and fouled off. So the count holds to Craig at 2-2. We'll be on the air tomorrow afternoon at 2:25 p.m. New York time. And now the 2-2 pitch to Craig. Swung on. That's a ground ball to short. McMillan up with it. Plays it on to Gabrielson in time. And Roger Craig has grounded out. Hits the ball well, but Roy McMillan moves swiftly to his left and scoops it up. There's one away. Ted Shriver coming up, still looking for his first major league hit. Grounded out third to first, grounded out pitcher to first. Shriver with a wide stance. Wears the number 43 on his back. Here's a pitch that is in there for a called strike. Strangely enough, 43 is the number that Charlie Neal wore during his years with the Dodgers. Neal is on deck right now. That's a breaking ball low. It's 1-1 to Ted Shriver. That's nothing. Braves nothing. Henley getting a sign. Starts the motion for the 1-1 pitch. Swung on and fouled out to the right side out of play. 1-2. A complex of expressways have been constructed in the vicinity of the ballpark since the heyday of the Milwaukee Ball Club, 57, 58, 59. Cut considerably into the parking area. Here's a swing and a miss, strike three. And Shriver is out swinging. That is strikeout number 2 for Bob Henley. There are 2 men out, nobody on base, and Charlie Neal is coming up. 1 for 2 this afternoon. And the pitch. Breaking ball in there for a call. Strike 1. Duke Snyder's on deck now for the Mets. Again the pitch. Fired tight. It's 1-1. Takes a moment now, has the sign. A 1-1 pitch on the way. Swung on and pops up to the right side. At first base, Lynn Gabrielson calls. He's underneath, and he makes the catch for the out. So the Mets in the top of the 6th are out in order with no runs on no hits, no errors, and none left. The end of 5.5 innings of play. The score is New York Mets nothing, and the Milwaukee Braves nothing. Something in triplicate for you right now. half of the sixth, and the top of the batting order is up for the Milwaukee Braves. Ty Klein. He's been up twice, and Roger Craig struck him out swinging both times. Klein has a batting average of .211 for the season. Craig with the windup and pitch. In there for a called strike to Ty Klein. Milwaukee Braves have had a problem in center field. At any time that Bill Bruton has not been around in the last 6 or 7 years. There were times when Bruton was injured and Henry Aaron was moved over to center field. Henry was never very happy in that position. Pitch is low for a ball. It's 1-1. Bobby Bragan had a lot to say about that when he took over the ball club. He said he intended to play Aaron in right field because he didn't see why you should have an unhappy center fielder when you could have the best right fielder in baseball, he thought. As a pitch high and away, it's 2-1. So Ty Klein came on from Cleveland in the trade. It saw Joe Adcock go to Cleveland and was promptly installed in center field by the Milwaukee Braves. Here's a swing and a ground ball. Fielded by Craig. He can't control it, and Klein is on at first base. Roger Craig moved over to try to field the ball. Had a lot of spin on it. Off to the left side. It is scored as an error on Craig. He got it in his glove, but couldn't control the spin. Dropped it, and then saw that the very speedy Ty Klein was across the back, so made no play. And the Milwaukee Braves in the bottom of the sixth get their leadoff man on base. That brings up Frank Bowling. He is slide to center, and he had a blue pip to right, and he has been carrying a horseshoe in his hip pocket, I am sure, plus a 4-leaf clover and a rabbit's foot for the past day or so. Ball is bunted foul as Bobby Bragan puts the sacrifice on that time. There's no score in this game, and we're in the bottom half of the sixth, so with nobody out and the leadoff man on base, Bowling was trying to lay it down. It is strike one. In on the edge of the grass at third is Ted Shriver. Bowling waits as Craig gets a sign. Klein leads out the bag at first, a throw over, and he's back safely. Tim Harkness is the first baseman there. The pitch is high. Harkness was charging on the pitch, and so was Shriver. 1-1. Henry Aaron is on deck for the Milwaukee Braves. Nobody out. Bowling stepped out for a moment. Now he comes back in. Milwaukee Braves wearing uniforms this year with the names lettered on the back of the shirt. Here's a pitch. Swung on. Ground ball to third. Taken by Shriver. Placed to Neal at second. He's out there. Throw to first. He's out there. A double play as Bowling bluffed the bunt, took the full swing, sent a smash to third. Taken by Shriver. He whipped it to second where the play was made by the shortstop, Charlie Neal, who was moving across. He tagged the bag through onto Harkness in plenty of time to get Bowling. 2 away and nobody on base. So how about pouring yourself a tall glass of Rheingold Extra Dry? You know, Rheingold is beer as beer should taste, and Dry tells you why. So enjoy a friendly glass of Rheingold Extra Dry along with the game. Henry Aaron at the plate. There's a swing and a ground ball going through the hole into left field for a base hit. Up with it is Cook. Relays it in. Holding at first is Aaron with a ground single to left. Becomes the base runner with 2 men out and Eddie Matthews coming up. Matthews has been up twice and he grounded out both times. Swinging a ground ball going through the hole into right field for a base hit. Aaron round second, heads to third. Play made on him as he slides into third base safely. Matty came up with the ball relayed it in. Runners holding first and third. And Mac Jones is coming up. Roger Craig has come on over to back up. the possible play at third, so now he starts back towards the mound leisurely. Mac Jones standing just outside the batter's box. Been up twice. Scratched the base hit in the bottom half of the second. It's the Mets nothing, the Braves nothing. Craig now looks around the outfield before getting set to pitch to Mac Jones. Left-hand batter with lots of speed. Braves now have a total of 5 hits off Craig. All of them singles. Time call now is Sherry wants to go out and check with Craig. This is the first inning that the Braves have been able to get as many as 2 hits off Craig. That double play on the ball hit by Bowling looms ever larger since Aaron and Matthews have followed with back-to-back singles. Runners lead first and third. The pitch to Mac Jones. Swung on it. Strike one. He took a ripple. Getting handcuffed. Henry Aaron at third. Eddie Matthews at first. Bobby Bragan, managing the Braves, has Aaron batting ahead of Eddie Matthews. Most of Bragan's predecessors managing the Braves did it the other way around. Matter of fact, Fred Haney batted Eddie Matthews in the number 2 slot in the batting order. There's a swing and a ground ball to the right side, taken by Burright. He plays on over to Harkness in time to retire the side. So in the bottom of the 6th, the Milwaukee Braves got no runs on 2 hits. There was 1 error and 2 men left. And at the end of 6 full innings of play, the score is the New York Mets nothing and the Milwaukee Braves nothing. Coming in here now to bring you up to date on all the proceedings, Bob Murphy.
Thank you very kindly, Lindsey Nelson. You know, Dodgers will be coming into New York for their first series, a 2-game series, and the first 2 night games of the home season for the New York Mets on the nights of April 29th and April 30th. The final 2 nights of the month of April, the Dodgers will be coming in. Don Drysdale off to a fast start. Big Don has already won 2 and lost none. Sandy Koufax trying for his second win in today's ball game. Tommy Davis, the mercury-footed Maury Wills, who right now has been sidelined. Bill Skowron, Ron Fairley, Willie Davis, massive Frank Howard, who many of the ball players think is the man to beat for the home run championship this year, will all be in on April 29th and April 30th for their first visit of the new season. Right here, let's pause for station identification.
WGY Schenectady. Temperature is 57 degrees with the humidity at 8%.
Bob Murphy with Lindsey Nelson and Ralph Kiner. We go now to the top of the 7th inning with the New York Mets coming up. Bob Murphy with Lindsey Nelson and Ralph Kiner. We go now to the top of the 7th inning with the New York Mets coming up against Bob Henley in a brilliant pitching duel between Bob Henley, the 23-year-old southpaw, and veteran right-hander Roger Craig. Pitch thrown to the Duke, and he barely gets a piece of this one, a foul ball off, no play. Is into his windup, and the pitch to Snyder, he lays off and is taken a high. 1 ball and 1 strike. Well, a baseball headline has been written this afternoon in Cincinnati by 24-year-old Al McBean, the right-hander from St. Thomas and the Virgin Islands, who shut out the Cincinnati Reds on 1 base hit. Pittsburgh winning 1-0. Breaking ball outside and low, 2 balls and 1 strike. Well, they really have some pitching jobs going on around the National League today. Al McBean, a 1-hit shutout as Pittsburgh beats Cincinnati 1-0. Joey J, the loser. The Cubs lead the Giants 2-0 at the end of 6, behind Larry Jackson. The Phillies lead the Cardinals 1-0 at the end of 7, short against Brolio. Breaking ball, the tie, 3-1 now to Duke Snyder.
after all that speech about the one hitter, we'll have to backtrack. A correction has just come in on our ticker that says Cincinnati no runs and 10 hits. That makes it a little bit different, doesn't it? Now the 3-1 delivery by Bob Henley. Outside and low, it's ball 4, and Snyder walks, leading off the 7th inning. There's the first walk given up by Bob Henley. The Mets have their leadoff man on base, Duke Snyder, and it brings up Jim Hickman. Al McBean came into his own as a star right-hander for Danny Murtaugh last year when he won 15 ball games, lost 10, and had an earned run mark of 3.6. Now Cookie Lavagetto is calling Jim Hickman down for a get-together. With Snyder on first base and nobody out, top of the 7th inning. New York, no runs, 2 hits, and 1 error. Milwaukee, no runs, 5 hits, and no errors. Now the stretch. They look for the bunt. And a throw to first, not in time. Snyder hurrying back. Now lefty Bob Henley up in pitching position, delivers. Henley fires it in there for a call strike. Hickman bluffed but didn't offer to bunt it. Day game tomorrow with Al Jackson pitching against Bob Shaw. Then on to Cincinnati. And 2 single night games on Tuesday and Wednesday nights before returning to New York. Now Jim Hickman cocks the bat. He squares around, bunts. Fair ball, down the third baseline, good bunt. Play has to go to first in time for the out. Real good bunt by Jim Hickman. He pulled the bat back and almost spun that one to a stop going down the third baseline. Play going across to the first baseman, Lenny Gabrielson. And now Snyder's in scoring position at second with 1 out, and the batter is Cliff Cook. So Jim Hickman has done his job in trying to help build a run. And now Cliff Cook hopes to drive it in. Cliff 0 for 2 has grounded out and hit a line drive caught by Gabrielson. Pitch is over at the letters for a call strike on Cook. Now Bob Henley makes the stop. Down comes his pitch to Cook. A swing at a curve and a miss. Strike 2. Larry Burritt is the on-deck batter, and then Norm Sherry. Danny Murtaugh's young Pittsburgh team off to a fast start. They traded away 3/4 of their infield, but they have gotten away well. Now the 2-strike delivery. A foul ball off the 5th, back into the screen, no play. They traded away their first baseman, Dick Stewart, their shortstop, Dick Grote, and their third baseman, Don Hope. To go along with the youngsters, Don Clendenin at first, Schofield at short, and rookie Bob Bailey at third. Now Henley in front on the count. Cook waiting. The 2-strike pitch. Inside and high, he had to lean out of the way of that one. 1 ball and 2 strikes now on Cliff. No score. We're in the top of the 7th inning in Milwaukee. Now Henley off the stretch. Here's the pitch on the way. A curve swung and missed. He struck him out. Now it'll be up to Larry Burritt to try and get that tie-breaking run home. Bob Henley now has struck out 4 in the game, walked 1, allowed no runs, and given up just 2 hits. Charlie Neal singled to left with 1 out in the 1st inning, and Jim Hickman singled to left with 2 men out in the 4th inning. Those are the only hits that Henley has surrendered. Larry Burritt has been thrown out third to first, tried to bunt his way on and was thrown out. Here's the pitch on the way. A line drive hit hard towards center field, running for it is Klein. He makes the catch on the run. Really hit by Larry Burritt. Hit so hard that what looked like a certain base hit stayed up long enough and started to rise, and Ty Klein, who covers ground in a hurry, was able to cut over and pick it off on the dead run in right center field. So the side is out in the 7th inning. Mets made a strong bid for a run there, but Klein was able to get to it. No runs, no hits, no errors, one left on. The end of 6.5 innings, the score, the New York Mets, nothing, and the Milwaukee Braves, nothing. You know, a really smart hitter tries to look over the pitches until he gets the one that's right for him. Same thing goes for filter cigarette smokers. Look them all over and you'll hit on Viceroy. Because Viceroy tastes the way you'd like a filter cigarette to taste. Not too strong, not too light. Viceroy's got the taste that's right. Now, what do I mean by the taste that's right? Well, if you smoke all 7 leading filter brands, you'll find some try to taste like the unfiltered kind, and they succeed. Result? Too strong. Now, others taste too light, and they filter all the fun and flavor out of smoking. But Viceroy's not too strong, not too light. Viceroy's got the taste that's right. That's right, fans. Try Viceroy in the exclusive new slide top case. You know, it's crush-proof like a box, but works far easier. It slides right open, slides shut tight. Either way, familiar softback or new slide top case, Viceroy's got the taste that's right. Now Lenny Gabrielson up in the home 7th, bunts the ball down the third base line. Shriver picks it up and throws. He's out at first base. Beautiful play by Ted Shriver. Throws post play at first base, and Harkness stretched out to meet the throw, and that stretch by Harkness just made the play work. Gabrielson trying to bunny his way on in this 0-0 ball game in the home 7th inning. He's a left-hand hitter, and he bunted it down the third base line, and Shriver couldn't waste a moment. That play at first was closer than last year's best. One away and nobody on. The hitter now is Joe Torre. Joe has a perfect day going, has drawn a walk single to left field. Roger Craig winds and pitches. Strike on the outside corner. We've had some fine fielding in this pitching duel. One away, nobody on. Bottom half of the 7th inning. A little bit off the outside corner. 1 ball, 1 strike now to Joe Torre. Let's have the outfield a stride to left against Torre, a right-hand hitter. He stands deep, feet close together. A smash off the end of the bat towards second. Burr right up with it behind second. Throws in time. They have him by a 2-running stride. Ball was hit funny. Craig fooled him with the pitch, and it was hit down off the end of the bat. Ralph, in this ball game, the pitchers have been baffling the hitters. We've seen a lot of those balls with a lot of spin on them.
They certainly have been pitching good baseball. Roger Craig has pitched exceptionally well, and so has Bob Henley. There have been a lot of low-scoring ball games this spring.
National League all the way around the schedule this afternoon, featuring great pitching. Outside and low to Roy McMillan. Roy 0 for 2 in the game. It's all over in Cincinnati. The Pirates beat Cincinnati 1-0. McBean the winner over Joey J. Larry Jackson has the slugging Giants shut out for 7 innings. That's no easy trick. Breaking ball over for a call strike. 1 ball and 1 strike. Chris Short has the Cardinals shut out for 7 innings, and that's a tough batting order to shut out. Phillies leading 3-0 at the end of 7.5. Grounder hit down to third. In comes Shriver. Plays it even with the bag. Now the peg. The side is out. A strong inning for Roger Craig. No runs, no hits, no errors, none left on. Now 7 innings complete. And the score here at County Stadium in Milwaukee, the New York Mets, nothing. And the Milwaukee Braves, nothing. In the game today at Wrigley Field in Chicago, Juan Marichal was the starter for the Giants. May have left the game for a hitter, and right-hander Jack Fisher, acquired from the Orioles during the inter-league trading period, is now on in relief. Larry Jackson pitching for the Chicago Cubs. You know, it seems like only yesterday that it was 1951 and a young Willie Mays came up from Minneapolis to join Leo DeRocher and the New York Giants in the Polo Grounds. Off to a slow start, worried about whether he was going to hit or not. The same Willie, 11 years later, added to his laurels last year when he led the major leagues in hitting with 49 home runs. And it'll be Willie's night in the Polo Grounds on Friday night, May 3rd. Toots Shore serving as chairman of the committee as they map the plans to make it a big one, as New York turns out to honor one of its greatest athletes, Willie Mays. Pittsburgh beat Cincinnati 1-0. McBean the winner over Jay. Cardinals hitting in the last of the 8th, trailing Chris Short and the Phils 3-0. That's the first game of 2. The Dodgers lead Houston 1-0 at the end of 2 Koufax against Don Notabart. In the American League, the Yankees lead the Orioles 5-1 after 5.5. Stan Williams pitching for New York. Dave McNally is the 4th earner used by Billy Hitchcock. Cleveland 6, Detroit 0 as they go to the 9th inning. Jerry Walker replaced Mudcat Grant in the 5th. At the end of 5.5, Washington 6, the Red Sox 5 in a slugfest. Minnesota 3, Kansas City 0 at the end of 3, Pasquale against McGee. Now Tommy Aaron has gone to first base for the Milwaukee Braves as Norm Sherry leads off in the 8th inning. Milwaukee Braves consider Tommy Aaron to be just about as good as you can find defensively around first base. Of course, the New York Mets know that anytime Gil Hodges can take the field, they have the best. The thing that is keeping Gil out of action right now is not the leg that was operated on, it's the other leg. It started to swell up a little bit when he took a couple of lengthy drills fielding ground balls. Now Norm Sherry is up top of the 8th inning. Swing and a miss, strike 1. A good fastball by Bob Henley. Nobody on, nobody out. Top of the 8th inning, scoreless mound duel between Henley and Craig. Norm Sherry waiting. Hits the curve foul coming straight back in the count, strike 2. Tim Harkness is on deck, and then Roger Craig. Well, the Cardinals broke through and got 2 runs off Chris Short in the last of the 8th. So they go to the 9th inning, 3-2, the Phillies in front. Fouled back up toward the upper deck, and this is out of reach. Breeze has picked up and is now blowing diagonally from left across toward right. Makes it a tough route for the ball to travel when hit into that wind going toward left field. Jim Hickman hit a ball right into that wind and drove it through for a home run yesterday. Ground ball hit the shortstop. Roy McMillan is up with it. And he pegs to Tommy Aaron in time, and Sherry is out. 1 away in the 8th inning. Ralph, we're going to have to take a walk around our chair or something to pick up some runs.
Well, the Mets had a great chance in the last inning, but Ty Klein, who was purchased for that one reason, made a great stop, made a great catch in center field to Rob Burright of a sure base hit, if not a double.
1 away and nobody on. Left-hander against left-hander now. Harkness facing Henley. And he pops the ball up in foul territory back toward the dugout. Here comes Joe Torre hoping for a play. It may go out of reach. And it's out of reach into the field box. Well, from all of us out here in Milwaukee, a very happy Easter.
You see that fellow down there with those bare, cold hands make a try for that ball?
You see that lady right next to him that was going to take that brand new Easter bonnet and try to use it as first baseman's glove?
That would have been a great play, wouldn't it?
She'd have hated herself afterwards. I think that was Joe Kresnick's wife. Now the windup. Here's the pitch. Ground ball on the right side. Running to his glove side is Frank Foley. He pegs on to Aaron, and Harkness is out. We rode out to the ballpark with our engineer, Joe Kresnick, today, and his wife, I want to tell you, Ralph, has really got an Easter bonnet. That thing must stand up like a 3-layer cake on the top of her head. Outs and nobody on. The hand now is for Roger Craig as he comes up against Henley in the 8th inning. And he pops it up on the right side of the diamond. On the skin of the infield path, Frank Bowling calling. He has it. And young Bob Henley breezes through the 8th inning when the Mets failing to get the ball out of the infield. No runs, no hits, no errors, and none left on. So at the end of 7.5 innings, the score remains the Mets nothing and the Braves nothing. Well, if you've ever been frustrated and wanted to be an umpire, here's your chance. Picture this Rangel riddle. Runners on first and second with 1 out. You got it? All right. Now, the batter left a high fly towards short, and the umpire correctly calls infield fly. But the ball coming down strikes the front runner standing a few feet off second. Now, how would you rule? Is the runner out? Is the batter out? Well, the answer to this one is that it's a double play. Both the batter and the base runner are out. If the runner had been standing on second, he would have been safe. How'd you do? Well, you can ponder that ruling over a glass or two of refreshing Rheingold. You know, Rheingold just naturally goes with baseball. Goes with all good times because Rheingold has a taste all its own. It's beer as beer should taste, and dry tells you why. It tells you that Rheingold is brewed the long, slow, costlier way for a taste that's brisk and bright and clean, clear through. Enjoy it now along with the game. Now the Milwaukee eighth, and Bob Henley will lead it off, facing Roger Craig. He hit the ball hard his last time up, and Charlie Neal made quite a play to retire the side by flipping the ball to second for a force play. Ground smash to short. Charlie Neal's up with it. He pegs on to Harkness, one away in the home eighth inning. Henley jumping right on that first pitch. Well, it's all over in Cleveland. A shutout for the combined work of Mudcat Grant and Jerry Walker. Mudcat was hit by a batted ball that had to leave the game in the fifth inning. And Jerry Walker, who came to Cleveland in a swap for Chuck Kasijan, then took over and hurled shutout ball the rest of the way. Cleveland, 6 runs, 12 hits, no errors. Detroit, no runs, 7 hits, and no errors. Jerry Walker, the winner, and Jim Bunning was the loser. Rookie Vic Danilio hit a 2-run homer in the fifth. Outside to Ty Klein, 1 ball and no strikes. This little Danilio played at Jacksonville in the International League last season, was a tremendous hitter. Swing and a miss by Ty Klein. 1 ball, 1 strike. He's about the size of Albie Pearson. 1-1 now on Ty Klein. Down comes the pitch from Craig. Off the outside corner. 2 balls and 1 strike. Frank Bowling is the on-deck hitter, a 0-0 ball game, last half of the 8th inning. Now the 2-1 delivery. A high fly ball hit deep to right field. Back goes Snyder. He's back to the wall. May have room. Makes the catch. The Duke had his back right up against the canvas, 360 feet away. The ballpark was just exactly big enough to hold that one. Snyder had to reach over his head with his back against the canvas. Well, there was an uneasy moment for Roger Craig and the New York Mets, as Ty Klein, who's known as a line drive hitter and not a long ball hitter, almost reached the seats in right field. 2 outs and nobody on now in the bottom of the 8th inning. The batter is Frank Bowling. Frank 1 for 3 for the afternoon. Takes inside, ball 1. Rheingold Extra Dry Beer. Happy to be sending you the game from County Stadium in Milwaukee. Hope you have plenty on hand. Outside and low in the count now, 2-0. New York, no runs, 2 hits and 1 error. Milwaukee, no runs, 5 hits, no errors. Boy, you can't find better pitching than we have seen in this ball game today. Now tall Roger, crank it up. Breaking ball over for a call strike, 2-1. Roger has walked 2 and struck out 5, allowed no runs and scattered 5 hits. Twice in the game has been called on to pitch out of deep trouble and did so. Inside and high, ball 3, 3-1. In the 6th inning with runners on 2nd and 3rd, he got Mac Jones to ground out to retire the side. He pitched down of a jam also in the 4th inning. Pitching 3-1. Low, it's ball 4, and Bowling walks, and that brings up Aaron. the electricity that always winds its way through a stadium when a superstar comes on to hit can be felt. As Henry Aaron comes on to face Roger Craig with a tie-breaking run on first, 2 men down in the last of the 8th inning. Henry has fouled out, drawn a walk, and picked up a base hit. Strike one called. It's in at the knees. The last time Aaron was up, he asked Frank Zakori to take a close look at the ball. Frank did and put it down to play. Again, Aaron says, look it over. This time he looks it over, and the ball stays in the game. Now Harkness holding against bowling at first. The pitch by Roger. He tried to hold up on the swing, but he went through with it. Strike 2. Roger Craig had Henry Aaron fooled on that one, and now it's a 2-strike count. Bottom half of the 8th inning, no score. Bowling leading off first. The pitch to Aaron. Strike 3 called. Oh, what a pitch by Roger Craig. He got Aaron on 3 pitches. That last one really shaved that knee-high outside corner. He was really pitched on a dime, wasn't he, Ralph, with that last one?
He certainly was, and he fooled Aaron completely. Aaron was looking for a curveball. That pitch came across the knees and the outside, and he didn't make an offer at it. Real good job by Roger Craig.
In the 8th inning, no runs, no hits, no errors, and 1 left at the end of the 8th as we get set for the 9th. The score, the Mets nothing and the Braves nothing. They would like to remind you that the 1963 official New York Met yearbook is now available. Very attractive cover on the yearbook again this season with Mr. Met on the front cover. And once you turn inside, you'll find over 100 pictures, including the interesting biographical sketches and the factual background about your favorite New York Met players. Also, stories about the skipper, Casey Stengel. The coaches, including the new pitching coach, Ernie White. Beautiful Shea Stadium with that fantastic new Stadiorama scoreboard. Highlights of last year, stories about the farm system, the men behind the scenes, and many other interesting stories and facts. There is a complete page of players' autographs. And I'm sure it'll be a welcome addition to your baseball library and will settle a lot of arguments during the coming year. To obtain your copy, send 50 cents for each copy to Met Yearbook, Polo Grounds, New York 39, New York. Go now to the 9th inning. Mets will be desperately trying to push across the run against Bob Henley. Henley has 4 scoreless innings going as he hits the 9th inning, has given up only 2 scattered singles in the entire game. A first inning single with 1 out by Charlie Neal, and a 2-out single in the 4th inning by Jim Hickman. The young left-hander from Macon, Georgia, winds and pitches a swing and a miss, strike 1. Ted Shriver 0 for 3. Ted has grounded out twice and been struck out. Ted stands well back from the plate, right-hand batter. Henley winding. Now the pitch. Goes to a curve and drops it right in there. Strike 2 call. Charlie Neal is on deck, and then Duke Snyder. Here's the 2-strike pitch by Henley. A smash hit hard, a base hit going through the hole in the left field for Shriver. Ted takes his turn around first, and he has his first major league base hit. It could be a mighty big one. It's a clutch hit coming in the leadoff role in the 9th inning of a 0-0 ball game.
We will be back on side 2.
Now the Braves are looking for the bunt. Eddie Matthews comes in close at third. Tommy Aaron, a good fielder, is at first. Neal bunts. The ball goes foul down the first baseline. No play. Charlie didn't give himself up to try and lay that one down. He tried to conceal his intentions to keep that defense honest. Well, Charlie James has homered in the last of the 9th inning to tie up the game with the Phillies 3-3. Cardinals are still batting with a chance to win it now in the last half of the 9th. Here's the stretch by Henley. Neal swings away and misses. Strike 2. Warm-up action for the Braves. Claude Raymond, a right-hander, getting ready. So the Phillies had the Cardinals 3-0, but the Cardinals came back for 2 in the 8th, have tied it in the 9th, and they are still hitting with a chance to win it. Right here, the Mets are trying to move Shriver over. 2-strike delivery. Inside. 1 ball and 2 strikes. That one almost nicked Charlie. Now Bob Henley looking in for his sign from Joe Torre. A throw to first. Not in time as Ted Shriver gallops back to the bag. We have warm-up action for the first time in the ball game in the Milwaukee bullpen. Neal waiting, throw to first. Again, Shriver gets back. No score. We're in the top of the 9th inning. Now the stretch by Henley. Here's the pitch on the way. A ground ball hit towards second base. Foley is up when he flips to second for 1. On to first. Double play. Bowling to McMillan to Aaron, and the Braves get 2. Charlie Neal on the first pitch tried to bunt Shriver over, bunted foul. Casey then changed and let him hit away, but he grounds into a double play. 2 outs and nobody on in the 9th inning, and the hitter now is Duke Snyder. Duke 0 for 2 has flied to center twice. He drew a walk leading off in the 7th inning. Left-hander against left-hander. In the dirt, 1 ball and no strikes. Nothing to nothing, top of the 9th inning. Next pitch by Bob Henley. Curve low in the dirt. Ball 2, 2-0 on Duke Snyder. Right after Duke takes his turn at bat, we'll give our stations a chance to identify. Jim Heckman is waiting on deck. Now the windup pitched by Bob Henley, and the curve is a strike on the inside corner about knee-high. 2-1. When Bob Henley, the young left-hander from Macon, Georgia, walked Duke Snyder in the 7th inning, it was the only walk that he has given up in the entire game. Pitching 2-1. Ground ball bounced to the right of Frank Foley. He backhands it. He throws to first. Out, a great play by Frank Foley. Oh, what a fielding play by Frank Foley. That looked like a base hit from the Duke. But Bowling, racing towards second, made the across the body backhand stab, whirled and threw off balance in time for the out. In the 9th, no runs, 1 hit, no errors, and none left on. And now at the end of 8.5 innings to score. The New York Mets nothing, and the Milwaukee Braves nothing. Right now, let's listen to an old favorite brought up to date.
Rheingold Extra Dry Beer is the name of my beer. Brisk and bright, refreshing brew. Rheingold flavors clean clear through. It's not sweet or bitter. That's why folks consider Rheingold is the beer to buy. And Dry will tell you why. Rheingold Extra Dry has friends by the millions because it's beer as beer should taste. Brisk, bright, and clean clear through. Dry tells you why. Slowly age the flavor. Rheingold taste to favor. Here is beer as beer should taste. That's the reason to make haste. Next time you're out shopping in a tavern popping, why not sing out clear and high? Rheingold Extra Dry. My beer is Rheingold, the dry beer. Think of Rheingold whenever you buy beer. It's not bitter, not sweet. It's a dry flavor treat. Won't you try Extra Dry Rheingold beer?
Last of the 9th inning in Milwaukee with Eddie Matthews leading off now against Roger Craig. Right-hander Tracy Stallard, left-hander Don Rowe cranking up in the bullpen. 0-0 mound duel between Bob Henley and Roger Craig. Few, if any, tougher to face in a leadoff capacity in a moment such as this in the last of the 9th inning than Eddie Matthews. Eddie in the game has singled to right and 3 times up. Now Roger has his sign. Into the windup, the pitch to Matthews. Outside, it's ball 1. Mac Jones, the left fielder, a left-hand hitter, is on deck, and then Tommy Aaron, who replaced Lynn Gabrielson at first base. Matthews cocktail in the bat around. Now cocks it. Here's the pitch. Ball 2. It's outside. 2-0 now at Eddie. Roger trying to keep that ball out away from Eddie Matthews and from his great power. The breeze blowing in favor of the left-hand hitters toward right field. Now the windup back, Craig. Down comes his pitch. He tried to shave that outside corner again, and it was outside. Ball 3, 3-0. And now Eddie wants to check with JoJo White, relaying the signs from skipper Bobby Brigham to see whether or not he has the green line to try and break this thing up on one swing of the bat. Pitching 3-0. He goes after it, a foul ball back into the screen, and the count 3-1. They flashed the green light, and Eddie went after it, but he fouled it off, and so Roger, even though it was 3-0, kept something good on the pitch. Now Eddie wants to tighten up the grip on that bat handle, so he goes to that pine tar cloth. Count 3-1 as Roger fusses around on the pitching slab. The outfield playing it deep astride to right. Infield back deep on the right side. Craig into his windup, pitching. Strike 2 called. He shaved that better high outside corner. Roger really pitching fine on that one. And now the string is out 3-2. Bottom half of the ninth inning, 0-0. Arms dangling. Roger looks in for his sign. Now he's winding. Pitching 3-2. He line drive to right center. A base hit for Eddie Matthews. The winning run is on as he swings around first. And coming on to hit will be Mac Jones. Before Jones steps in, let's pause for station identification.
810 on your dial, WGY, the General Electric station, Schenectady, New York.
With Lindsey Nelson and Ralph Kiner from Milwaukee. The issue squarely up to the Mets now. Bottom of the ninth inning. Matthews on 3-2, flicking a curveball and a drive into right center for a hit. They look for the bunt. Bunt it back toward the mound. Craig throwing to second. First play. On to first. Not in time. But they take the lead runner, Eddie Matthews, off the baseline. Ball bunted too hard by Mac Jones, and Craig was on it in a hurry. He threw to Charlie Neal, and they forced Matthews. Brings up Tommy Aaron. He'll be batting for the first time in the game. He went to first base in the top of the eighth inning, replacing Lynn Gabrielson. Tommy Aaron, who has good power, is a right-hand batter. Mets play him around toward left in the outfield. He has been up only 3 times so far in the young season. Aaron with good size, bats out of a crouch. Takes outside and low, it's ball 1. Last half of the ninth inning. New York, no runs, 3 hits, 1 error. Milwaukee, no runs, 6 hits, no errors. Mets have the infield, pulled to left, and set up looking for 2. Hickman shaded toward left center. Shriver deep behind the bag at third, guards the line. He checks up on the swing. It's over. He had him tied up on that one. 1 ball and 1 strike now on Tommy Aaron. One now on Tommy Aaron. Throw to first, not in time, and Mac Jones, who has a world of speed going for him, moves back into first base. A throw to first, not in time. Those of you joining us late, earlier in the ball game, Joe Torre was picked off by Roger Craig. The 1-1 delivery. Swing and a miss. 1 ball and 2 strikes now on Aaron. He went for a low breaking ball down around the knees. Up in pitching position. Tim Harkness holding against Mac Jones, the potential winning run at first base, 1 out. Last of the ninth. Now the pitch. Ground ball bounced, foul down the third base line, no play. Handled in foul ground by Ted Shriver, and the count remains the same. 1-2 on Tommy Aaron. We're in the ninth inning in Chicago now. The Cubs lead the Giants 3-0 behind the shutout hurling of Larry Jackson. Next pitch by Roger. Ground ball hit down to Shriver. He's up with it. He throws to second. There's one. Throw right to first. Safe at first base. Close play at first base. Norm Sherry asking Bill Zukowski, the umpire, about it. Mac Jones, the lead runner, is forced from Ted Shriver to Larry Burright. Mets just missing the double play that would have taken him out of the inning. So Tommy Aaron reaches on the fielder's choice, and that brings up a strong right-hand hitter in Joe Torre. Joe Torre, batting right-handed. 2 down, last half of the ninth, no score. Tommy Aaron on first. Outfield deep and swung around toward left for the right-hand hitter. A throw to first, not in time. Torre drew a walk and was picked off by Craig in the third. He singled in the fifth. Now the pitch. A squibber hit off the bat towards second base. Burright is up with it. Throws on to first. The side is out. And this game will go scoreless on to the 10th inning. In the last of the ninth, no runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left on. At the end of 9 innings, here is the line score for the New York Mets. No runs, 3 hits, 1 error. For the Milwaukee Braves, no runs, 6 hits, no errors. And we'll be going now to the 10th inning of this thriller on Easter Sunday afternoon with Jim Hickman to lead off against lefty Bob Henley. Following the 2-game series in Cincinnati Tuesday night and Wednesday night, Casey and the Mets will be flying back to New York. Thursday will be an open day for them. And these Milwaukee Braves are in now for a 4-game series next weekend, starting with a Friday afternoon game, the first Ladies' Day game of the year on Saturday afternoon, and 1 week from today in the Polo Grounds, the first doubleheader of the home season as the New York Mets entertain the Milwaukee Braves. Right here, we're going along to the 10th inning, and we've had a world of thrills and baseball excitement here this afternoon. They continue right along, and here to follow the excitement for you, Ralph Kiner.
You know, Bob, you talk about excitement. This season seems to have started off with more excitement than any season I can remember. Some real great pitching. St. Louis Cardinals coming up with 3 straight shutouts to go with 2 the previous year. So it's been baseball at its best in the 1963 start. Right here, a great pitching duo between Roger Craig and Bob Henley. Through 9 innings of play, Bob Henley has pitched to only 30 men. He has given up 3 hits. Yesterday, Lou Burdett pitched a 3-hitter and faced only 31 men. So the Milwaukee Braves looking for some young pitching, getting some great pitching from Bob Henley right here against the New York Mets. And, of course, the New York Mets getting a fine job from Roger Craig. Now we move to the top of the 10th inning, and Jim Hickman steps in. Jim with a home run yesterday to score 1 of the 2 runs against Lou Burdett when the Milwaukee Braves won 5-2. Jim today with 1 hit and 2 times up. And the first pitch to Jim, a curve that's in the dirt for ball 1. It was Hickman who put the Mets runner at second base, the only time in the game that the Mets have had a runner as far as second base, and that was in the 7th inning when after Duke Snider walked, Jim sacrificed him down to second. Duke was left there when the center fielder, Ty Klein, made a great play on Larry Burright. Now the left-hander into the swing, and the 1-0 pitch to Jim. Swing and a miss for strike 1. 1 ball and 1 strike. Henley has struck out 4. He has walked only 1 batter and pitching to 30 men. The base hit to Charlie Neal, Jim Hickman, and Ted Shriver. Now the left-hander back to work, and the 1-1 pitch hit sharply down to the shortstop, McMillan. He comes up with it, throws to first in time. Well, McMillan has pulled up some big plays here, along with the second baseman, Frank Bowling, to keep the Mets from getting base hits. That was a good play on Jim Hickman as McMillan went to his left to take that hard ground ball. And with 1 out now, the batter will be Cliff Cook. Cliff is 0 for 3 against the left-hander. And there's a drive deep to left field. It's going to go way back there. The left fielder's there, Jones, and he makes the catch. Matt Jones against the ball, 340 feet away. He could go no farther. And Cliff Cook, being hampered by the wind blowing in, misses a chance for an extra base hit, a possible home run. So 2 balls did well here in the top of the 10th inning for the Mets. No score, but 2 men are out. And coming up now is Larry Burright. Larry is 0 for 3 in the game, right-hand batting second baseman. And the first pitch to the right-hand batter is a strike call, a fastball through. Now Hanley into the windup, and the 1-strike pitch. It's outside, 1 ball and 1 strike. The New York Mets against the Milwaukee Braves here. No score. And this is the first extra inning ball game for the Mets this year. It's the top of the 10th inning, 2 men out. Now Henley back to the plate. There's a swing and a foul ball. So the count moves to 1 ball and 2 strikes. Claude Raymond up and throwing for the Milwaukee Braves. Well, the 2 balls being hit hard, giving Bobby Bragan a chance to get up his bullpen. Bobby Bragan, the new manager, the Milwaukee Braves. Former Cleveland Indian manager. Now it's Henley into the windup. And the 1-2 pitch. Way over the top of the catcher's head for ball 2. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Torre got a piece of his glove on it, couldn't hold on to it. So the count now, 2 balls and 2 strikes to Larry Burright. The on-deck batter is Norm Sherry. Henley into the windup and back with a 2-2. And there's a foul ball straight back. Hitting right off the radio booth. And where were you, Bob Murphy?
I was going to my left. The ball was going to the right.
Boy, that thing was almost in there. Here's the final score. San Francisco Giants scored 1 run in the top of the 9th and failed to score anymore. They lose the ball game to the Cubs by a score of 3-1. The winning pitcher was Larry Jackson. The losing pitcher was Juan Marichal. 1 home run in that game. Ron Santo in the 4th with no one on. There's a base hit by Burright to right field. Hank Aaron comes up with the ball, throws it in, and now the Mets have the go-ahead run at first base with 2 men out and Norm Sherry coming up. Well, Burright has hit the ball awfully well his last 2 times up. He was robbed of at least a double and a chance to drive in the first Mets run when Ty Klein in center field went far to his left to pull down his line drive. Here is Norm Sherry. Norm looking for his first base hit of this game. He has struck out, fly to center field, and grounded to short. Right-hand batting catcher, and that is hit number 4 in the game off of Bob Henley. Henley with his first pitch to Norm Sherry. A strike through at the knees, a fastball for strike 1. Norm, his last time up, swung so hard at a high curveball that he hurt his neck. No score in the ball game, top of the 10th. Henley goes to first base. The throw arrives there after Burright had dove back into the bag. Henley now on the pitching rubber, taking the signs from Joe Torre. And the 1-strike pitch with Burright going is popped up in the air. It's foul territory. Torre has room back of home plate. And he one-hands it to make the catch. Torre had a little trouble as he stumbled coming off of the grass under the warning path by the stands and had to one-hand it, but he did the job. That retires his side. In the inning, no runs on 1 hit, no errors, 1 man left. And the score after 9 1/2 innings of play, the New York Mets nothing, the Milwaukee Braves nothing. You know, when a catcher suspects a runner will steal, it's the right time for him to call for a pitch out. And if you suspect that your present filter cigarette is stealing some of the pleasure you get out of smoking. And the 1-strike pitch with Burright going is popped up in the air. It's foul territory. Torre has room back of home plate. And he one-hands it to make the catch. Torre had a little trouble as he stumbled coming off of the grass under the warning path by the stands and had to one-hand it, but he did the job. That retires his side. In the inning, no runs on 1 hit, no errors, 1 man left. And the score after 9 1/2 innings of play, the New York Mets nothing, the Milwaukee Braves nothing. You know, when a catcher suspects a runner will steal, it's the right time for him to call for a pitch out. And if you suspect that your present filter cigarette is stealing some of the pleasure you get out of smoking, well, it's the right time for you to try Viceroy. Because Viceroy tastes the way you'd like a filter cigarette to taste. Not too strong, not too light. Viceroy's got the taste that's right. What do I mean by the taste that's right? Well, if you smoke all 7 leading filter brands, you'll find some taste just like the unfiltered kind. And as you might suspect, they taste too strong. While other brands seem to be all filter and no flavor. They just plain taste too light. But Viceroy's not too strong, not too light. Viceroy's got the taste that's right. Next time you buy cigarettes, make it a Viceroy in the familiar soft pack or new slide top case. Either way, Viceroy's got the taste that's right. That's right. Well, it's Roger Craig on the mound now. He has a job to do. It's the bottom half of the 10th inning. Not a score on the board. And he'll be working here in the bottom half of the 10th. The pinch hitter, Lee May. Lee May batting for shortstop Roy McMillan. And with Claude Raymond still throwing in the bullpen for the Milwaukee Braves, and the pitcher's position due up next, we possibly could have another pinch hitter. Lee May, who is 0 for 2 this year, batting from the left-hand side. And the first pitch by Rogers, a curveball that breaks too low for ball 1. One ball count to the left-hand batter. Ed Shriver at third base, even with the bag, looking for a possible bunt. Craig back again. This time the curve is inside. Ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes. Now Craig with a 2-0 pitch, and there's a drive foul for strike 1. Lee May in 1962, after batting better than 306 of his 8 minor league seasons, batted .244 with 10 home runs and 41 runs batted in for the Milwaukee Braves. During the early part of last year, May was sidelined with a virus and bronchial problems. Now the 2-1 pitch is outside at ball 3. Roger Craig, 3 balls and 1 strike to his leadoff man here in the bottom half of the 10th inning. Tracy Stollard and Don Roll throwing in the bullpen for the Mets. Now the 3-1 pitch to May. It's low for ball 4. And the go-ahead run, the winning run, is on at first base with no one out. The pitcher is due up. We'll see whether or not Bobby Bragan will use the pinch hitter. Of course, in this spot, the bunt is up for order. And it's going to be Bob Henley coming out to hit for himself. That bunt, that walk by Roger Craig is 4th in the game. He has given up only 6 base hits. Now time called as Norm Sherry goes out to talk to Roger. In the 9th inning, Eddie Matthews led off with a base hit against Roger Craig on a 3-2 pitch. And when Mac Jones tried to bunt him over, Roger fielded the ball and made the 4th play at second to take away the lead runner. Right here, the bunt in order. Here come the men charging. There's the bunt attempt. It's a foul ball. Ball fouled off the bat of Bob Henley, and it hit Norm Sherry. Glanced off of him, but he's all right. 1 strike count now. Rogers left a total of 7 on in his first 9 innings. He has pitched fine baseball. In the first 9 innings, there was only 1 inning when he gave up more than 1 base hit. That was in the 6th inning when Hank Aaron and Eddie Matthews both singled after 2 men were out. Milwaukee Braves have had a runner at third base twice in the ball game. Once in the 6th inning and once in the 4th inning. Further, that a Met base runner has gone on the base pass has been to second base, and that was in the 7th inning. It's been a real pitcher's duel. Now throw to first base. He made back ahead of the tag. Bob Henley batting from the right-hand side. There's a throw to first again. Again, the runner back ahead of the tag. Roger working with a bunt situation. A one-strike count on Bob Henley. Now Craig on the pitching rubber and to the plate. There's a pitch out. A play is on, but no play as May gets back into first base in a hurry. Charging from first base was Tim Harkness. On the play, Burright was to come behind the runner, but he had no chance to make a play as Lee May slid back in a hurry. 1 ball and 1 strike. Henley is 0 for 3 in the game. Now Craig back to work. There's a bunt stride. It's a good bunt. Picked up by Harkness. He goes to second, and it's too late. Tim Harkness with a hard throw to second. It was just a touch high. And Vinnie Smith, the second base umpire, gave the safe sign. So it's a fielder's choice for the punter, Bob Henley. And now the Milwaukee Braves have runners at first and second base and no one out, and the batter's Ty Klein. Ty Klein, who flied out to deep right field. Duke Snyder made the catch right against the wall in the 8th inning. Now steps in the batter's box. He has struck out twice, was safe in an error when Roger Craig made the only error of the ball game on a top ball out by the third base side. Now he's batting for the 5th time. First and third looking for the bunt. The on-deck batter's Frank Bowling. Here's the pitch. There's the bunt. It's a foul ball. Roger Craig coming off the mound over by the third baseline. To third. The third baseman for the play there. And charging from first base, Tim Harkness. Lee May, a fast man on at second base. The pitcher, Bob Henley. The runner at first base. No one out here in the bottom half of the 10th. No score. Now Roger with a 1-strike count. There's a play on the second. Coming over is Charlie Neal behind the runner. He never got to the bag as Lee May slid in. New York Mets pulling no stops right here as they try to keep the Milwaukee Braves from scoring. Now Roger sets. Here's the pitch. A bunt, it goes foul. So that moves the count up to 2 strikes on Ty Klein. Time call as Roger talks to Norm Cherry and now to Ted Shriver. The big question here, of course, is whether or not Ty Klein will be bunting with a 2-strike count. Milwaukee Braves would love to see that runner at third base with no one out or 1 out. They would like to see him score even more. A winning run on at second base here in the bottom half of the 10th. The 2-strike count as Roger Craig now comes back to Ty Klein. There's a pitch out. It's ball 1. So, not knowing exactly what Klein might do, the Mets pitched out to find out whether or not he would score around the bunt. He did not. He was swinging away. He took the pitch. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes. No one out here as Craig looks for the sign. And Craig back to the plate with a curve, misses outside for ball 2. Balls and 2 strikes. Here's the final score. The Yankees defeated Baltimore 5-1. Stan Williams, a 5-hitter, going all the way. The losing pitcher was Estrada. The Yankees had 5 runs on 6 hits. The Orioles 1 run on 5. No home runs in the game. Right in, 0-0. Roger Craig 2-2 to Ty Klein, and back to the plate, and there's a foul ball and the curveball right back in the screen. So the count holds at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Dodgers struck out Ty Klein in the first inning on a curveball. And he has him 0 for 4 right now today. Klein saved the game for the Milwaukee Braves when he made a great catch on Larry Burright in center field in the seventh inning. There's a pitch back, a base hit to right field. This will win the ball game. Duke Snyder comes over. He has no play, and scoring from second base is Lee May. So Ty Klein, the real hero for the Milwaukee Braves, drives in the only run of the ball game as the Braves score 1 run on 1 base hit in the 10th inning. And the final score of the ball game, the Milwaukee Braves 1, the New York Mets nothing. And here to give you the details and tell you all about it is Bob Murphy.
Okay, Ralph, and you can well imagine that it is an unhappy, tall, veteran right-hander, Roger Craig, that now goes into the visiting clubhouse occupied by the New York Mets. After pitching a tremendous ball game, but his teammates, who have been gripped in a very tough batting slump over the first 5 games of the new season, simply unable to break through. This was the strongest ball game that has been pitched against the New York Mets, including the strong efforts by Ernie Broglio and by Warren Spahn, by Ray Washburn, by Lou Burdett. Mets have been up against 5 top pitchers in the first 5 ball games, and they have been held almost completely in check. In today's game, Bob Henley was even better than Roger Craig. Not once in the entire 10 innings were the New York Mets able to move a man as far as third base. Nonetheless, it took some fine fielding behind Bob Henley to preserve the victory for him. The Mets made their strongest bid to win the game in the 7th inning, when with Duke Snyder on second base, Larry Burright hit a slashing line drive toward right center. Speedy Ty Klein, the left-handed throwing center fielder, was off at the crack of the bat. The ball was hit so hard that it started to rise just a little bit, enough so that Klein was able to make the catch running into right center while at full speed. That was the best threat of the entire ball game for the New York Mets. The Braves winning it in the 10th inning when Lee May, batting for McMillan, drew a walk leading off. Bob Henley then bunted. Harkness fielded the bunt near the mound and hesitated for just a split second. That split-second hesitation deprived him of the chance of getting the lead runner, Lee May, at second base. Everyone was safe, and Ty Klein singled to right to break it up. Milwaukee, 1 run, 7 hits, no errors, 9 left. New York, no runs, 4 hits, 1 error, and 4 left. Winning pitcher Bob Henley on a 4-hit shutout. He now is 1-1 on the year. Losing pitcher Roger Craig, who pitched his heart out. Roger now has 1 none and lost 2.
You may purchase from the Miley Collection. Call 1-800.
There'll be blue